I can't hear, guys. All of you should be hearing. Okay, all of you should be able to hear me. I can hear perfectly. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. So yeah, guys, let's just have a look at the other day's setup. Now I won't be answering. I won't be reading the chat for the next minutes. Okay, until I ask for questions. So bear that in mind. So yeah, let's have a look at the other day's setup, which was on the 15-minute time frame, and it was right here. Okay. So we identified this setup. Let's see the replay tool. Okay, so let's just go through what I did to come up with the setup on this zone, okay? So I came up to the chart, 15-minute time frame. Again, loads of break of structure, break to the upside. Okay, plenty of breaks of structure, which means bullish structure. So my mindset is I have to fit in buys, okay? I have to fit in buys somewhere, okay? If I was to trade my setup from the lowest point to the highest, which would also be completely valid, it would give me my buy zone right here, more or less, okay? Just an example, which this would be over 200 pips away, which very unlikely to get filled. Therefore, what I did was I focused more on the session, on the day, on the prior days, and I identified a setup from there, okay? So as I say, market structure, completely bullish. As you know, guys, I like to identify ranges in price. I like to identify ranges. So in this case, I came up to the chart in the morning. I saw we were in a bullish structure, and the closest, you see, range I identify, just consolidation or market phase, however you want to call it, was this one right here, okay, which we could argue is a distribution phase. So this was the one I found. So I am focusing on this zone for me to spot the setups, okay? Next step, again, let's just lay down the confluences, like always. So first of all, market structure ranges, which basically it's bullish, so we are looking for buys. And this is the range we have found, we have spotted, which we're going to focus on. Then next step, actually, I like to have my second confluence as liquidity. We want to make sure, well, no, sorry. Fibonacci, which will give us, in this case, as we're looking for buys, it will give us our discount price. Okay, so we are focusing from this zone, which means we are throwing our Fibonacci from the highest point of the range up to the highest after the break, which is right up here, which this gives us the 0.76. We know around this area is our, in this case, as it's a bullish scenario, it's our discount price, okay? It's our high interest area is around the 0.76. So we want to be looking for supply and demand zones. In this case, as we are bullish, supply and demand zones in discount. So supply and demand zones in discount, which means we have identified the market structure, the range we are trading from. We have thrown our Fibonacci from the relevant points based on the range price has left. Now we're looking for our demand zone inside the premium price or the discount, sorry, in this case, which is right here. Now we can get rid of the Fibonacci. We know this is the freshest zone inside the, we know this is the freshest zone inside the Fibonacci, taking into account our confluences. Then the last main confluence which we need is liquidity. We need to make sure there's liquidity. In this case, we had this liquidity, which price left right here. And yeah, overall, if you remember, this was the setup I sent out. The market structure was overall bearish, bullish, sorry. We had loads of break of structure to the upside. This was exactly the setup I sent out. Okay, and this is exactly the way I identified the setup, okay? And this is exactly what I sent out. This is the modus operandi I went through to identify it, okay?
Where is the Fed?
Then 5. Sorry, guys, please mute yourself. Then 5, we can look for imbalances. These ones are extra confluences. Imbalance, we did have an imbalance right here. You see, this liquidity pool, price left an imbalance, fair value gap from the demand zone to this mitigation wick right here. So we had this imbalance to be filled. Those, you know, guys, I like to trade after the imbalance is filled on the demand zone. And then we also look for the extra confluence of the point of control, which again, it matched perfectly when I sent it out. Let's see now. It moved throughout the day. Okay, as you see, it moved throughout the day, but when I threw the analysis, if you go onto the pro group, the buy zone, so the point of control was right matching here, the Fibonacci, the demand zone, and the basically everything, okay? The point of control was matching right there. And last but not least, the last confluence I looked at, guys, was Asian liquidity, which, you know, I like to trade before or after it has taken. Therefore, I target Asian liquidity or I trade after it has been taken. So this was Asian liquidity, more or less. These were the lows of Asian liquidity. Oh, sorry, no. So there was no Asian liquidity in this setup. There was no Asian liquidity. Again, these 4 are the main confluences, okay? These 3 are extra confluences. I need these 4 to have a trade. I like to have any of these 3 to extra validate my setup. In this case, we did not have Asian liquidity, but we did have 6 confluences, which made a great setup either ways. That's why we traded it, okay? So basically, this is how I came up with the setup, how I threw out all of my confluences, how they matched perfectly, and let's see how it played out. So boom, if you remember, guys, we entered right here, sniper entry. And this is basically how it played out, okay? Just so you have an idea as to what you can do with these setups, okay, guys? Just so you have an idea as to what you can do with these setups. So do you get it, guys? What do you think about it? Now I will be reading the chat. If you have any question whatsoever, let me know. And yeah, what do you think about it? Do you understand it, guys? Do you see the confluences we're looking for? And so on. So the Fib, guys, the Fib, I drew it, sorry, I deleted it for those of you that joined late. From the highest point on the, from the lowest point of the range I'm considering, all the way to the highest point. In this case, when I drew the setup, the highest point was this one right here. So this was what I got. And yeah, we are looking for the zone inside the discount price in this case. This was basically the setup we shared out. Can you please setting of Fibonacci? Okay, guys, pay attention. I'm sharing the Fib setup. Where did my favorite bar go? Let's see. So screenshot this, guys. This is my settings for my Fib. Again, I only consider this level. These are just as a reference for me, just to have them as reference. Mainly, this is the main level you need. Okay. So the demand zone, essentially, guys, this demand zone was look, if you go, let's say, onto the 5 minute, guys, this is really what we are always talking about in the course: rally, base, rally. Okay, if you go into the 5 minute time frame, rally, it does a base and then a rally. This is basic knowledge on supply and demand. What does this mean? Demand zone. Okay, this means demand zone. So essentially it's this. Again, if you go into the higher time frames, you will be able to identify the zones by looking at indecision candles followed by strong candles. Okay, and then what I did in this case for this zone is just refine it. So if we were to get the 45 minute zone, which would be this one right here, Okay, this indecision candle followed by the strong move. If I was to refine it, which again, look at how price rejected it as well, great zone. But if I was to refine it down to the 15-minute, the finest zone would be this one right here, okay? This candle before the strong move, which leaves the imbalance right above, okay? Must there be consolidation? Not always. Sometimes if you have clear market structure, you have enough, but it's always nice to have some consolidation, guys. It's something I like to look at. Again, consolidation like this basically means it's a demand or supply zone on the higher time frames. So yeah, I like to look at the range. Basically this range, this consolidation is as we saw, this is how it looks on the 15-minute time frame, but on the 1 hour time frame, for example, it's a pin bar. Okay, it's a pin candle followed by a strong candle, which is basically a demand zone. Okay, so basically the range is a way of identifying the demand zone, which then you can refine more and so on. Okay, guys. So pretty much this is it on the other day setup. It's always the same, guys. Every morning I'm looking at the same confluences, the same stuff, and this is how it played out, okay? And yeah, as I was pointing out, as I always point out, before every big move, guys, there is a setup, okay? You just have to go to the chart and look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at every big move. So this big move, we already identified the potential setup, which we traded, okay? For example, on this big move right here, which we also traded, we also shared this exact entry right here. We also had a setup, which was a supply zone, okay? So this setup, we also shared with everyone on the pro group. We also shared the sniper entry. So again, this setup, as you see, change of character right here, which you can also argue it is a range consolidation, however you want to call it. Price breaks to the downside. Then I remember this zone I spotted on the 30-minute time frame. Price breaks to the downside, which means bearish structure. We throw on our supply zone, which obviously fits inside our fib. Okay, this one fit with space. Change of character, supply zone. In this case, we did not have liquidity, which is a very important confluence for me. But again, we also sniped this one. This is how this one played out. Which boom, actually price here leaves the liquidity, and here you could have a re-entry after the liquidity has been taken out. And then look at this one, we also shared it. So perfect setup before the big move. Let's go. Let's see this big move right here, okay? This big spike to the upside. Let's do it again. Where was I? Sorry. What move? This one right here. Let's have a look. So again, overall market structure bullish. Price is breaking structure. Again, you can argue this is a change of character. Can argue this is a change of character, demand zone. Obviously inside of fib or pretty close to fib. Change of character. And let's see. Price here leaves some liquidity, snipes the zone. And boom, there you would have another example of a perfect setup. Again, let's go now onto this move right here. This spike right here. I think this one we also did trade it. Pretty much the same. This one we also shared the setup here. So price did this break right here. Again, you can trace your demand zone. You can trace your fib. And wait, hold on. We have to let price create the high. There we go. So yeah, no, I remember this was the zone we marked out. This one right down here. And pretty much the same again. Boom, price creates some liquidity. And then this one gave some drawdown. But again, that was again set up right at the beginning of the big move. Let's go on to this one right here. This one, it's not that clear. This one price didn't give, we could argue in this one price didn't give a setup before the move. This one, there is a setup, but not too clear of a setup. Price did not come to the 0.76, but again, you could argue there was a setup to the 0.6 of FIP. But you see, right, guys, how you can flow through the market with the setups. Oh, let's see. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, some people are. Let me mute everyone. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let's see, where can I do this? Okay, now yes, guys, sorry. Yo, please mute yourself. Let's see who is. I'm muting everyone, but I'm not sure why some people keep on sounding. Yo, please mute yourself. Okay, now yes, sorry guys. Now there should be no problem. Yes, I did stop using the 0.61 of FIB. I'd rather use the 0.76. This is where you get the best entries, guys, the best prices. And as I said, you could just be doing this setup over and over and over and over. I think we also caught this one right here, which this one was a bit of a refined one, which, you know, I like the refined one. Break with loads of volume. Again, another setup, demand zone in premium. You can trace your FIB. And you see, sniper entry on the FIB plus demand zone. I think we also took this one. And yeah, pretty much this is it, guys. You just have to study the setups and really master them, and you will be able to really flow with the market and spot great trades. We also caught these moves. I actually catch, if you go back in time and you just place all of my trades in the chart, guys, you will see, we also caught this buy, I remember perfectly. We caught this buy right here, which gave us as well a sniper entry. We caught this buy, and then I remember we caught this sell right here. All of this is in the pro group, guys. You can go check it out. I sent first the setup, pending order, and so on. We also traded this sell. We traded this buy, and so on, guys. The power of the setups, you have no idea. You will find setups almost every day before the big moves. And yeah, sometimes you won't find them, but again, throughout all of this, I can guarantee you guys, you will find many setups the same way as we found this one on the road, okay? Here, you could also find plenty of them. For example, here, you see price does a break of structure right here, break of structure right here. You could trace your FIB from the highest point to the lowest. You could also trace your demand zone. And boom, you would see the sniper entry right there. Sniper entry right there. Boom. So pretty much this is what we are doing. This is what I'm looking at every day. This is what, look at the times the trades get executed. So 3:30, okay? 3:30, 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., okay? London or New York opening around those times. 8:30 a.m. 8:30 a.m. 3 p.m. 9:30, or price came to the zone at 9 a.m. This is why I always tell you guys, you have to focus on trading at this time of the day. Then, for example, this one at 3 p.m. This one at 3 p.m. This one right here at 9 a.m. or at 2 p.m. and so on. Okay, guys? So yeah, this is just how you can flow with the markets with the setup. It's very important that you understand the concepts, that you understand the tools. And guys, it's all in your hands at this point, okay? So yeah, any other question, anything you want to know, guys, let me know in the chat, and I will be ending the live lesson very soon. And yes, it is recorded for everyone asking, and I will upload it to the pro group very, very soon. So yeah, any additional question, guys? Today's setup, essentially the same, guys, essentially the same. BOS here, break of structure here. I focus more on the 15-minute time frame today. BOS right there, demand zone on the 15-minute, oops, not. Demand zone right here, okay? So break of structure, demand zone, loads of liquidity, which price is starting to take out. Loads of liquidity everywhere, which price is starting to take out. Fibonacci, sorry, which I almost forgot. And so on, okay? Pretty much, guys, the same setup I'm talking about all the time, which we're looking at all the time. The same stuff over and over and over and over. It's just spotting these guys and being at the right place at the right time with the setups, okay? So yesterday's trade, most likely price was taking out, well, most likely know what price did, okay, was take out this liquidity right here. If you look closely, price made sure, took out this liquidity, it filled out the gap, and yeah, overall it targeted this area, which again, let's see if we had a setup right here. On the bigger picture, again, these setups happen, guys, on absolutely every time frame. So barely came to the 0.76 and then spiked up. Basically, it took out this liquidity. We were the liquidity yesterday. So guys, liquidity, as I always say, this is the last thing, okay? If you have any other question, guys, drop it now. And liquidity, as I always say, highs or lows, close to the supply or demand zones, okay, guys? You have to understand liquidity as where retail traders are placing their stop losses and where they can get stopped out. So right here, loads of retail traders are trading this trend line. They are buying here, placing their stop losses below these highs, buy, which it just creates loads of orders here from retail traders and from institutions that will absorb them and fill out their orders, okay? So that's how I view liquidity. Liquidity comes in the form of early buyers or early sellers or or support and resistance or trend line, okay? Above or below supply and demand zones. Okay, guys? So take profits for today again. I think it's a 23 pip stop loss, what we're working with on this zone. My stop losses for this zone will be, my take profits will be at 1-to-1 risk to reward. I will start trimming profits at 1-to-2, 1-to-3, or 1-to-4, and so on. Again, I will tell you guys in the pro group when you should take profits or when I'm taking profits. Therefore, you will only have to follow it. Yeah, hopefully the trades go in my direction. Again, guys, nobody can control that. Therefore, it's very important that you manage risk properly and you stick to the plan. Okay. So yeah, guys, pretty much this is it. Great lesson on flowing with the market using the setups. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. The point of control settings, guys, I have the default settings or inputs. I have the default settings with the SVP, which are this. And yeah. Yeah, as Keiichi says, I do not change my point of control settings. I only open one trade and I trim profits, guys. Do you have a video in the community? I will resend it now. And yeah, guys, pretty much this is it. I will see you all later on the live. I will be going live in a few minutes. And yeah, see you all now, guys. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And yeah, have an awesome day. Manage risk and yeah, trust the setups team. And have a great day. Yeah, we'll go live on TikTok team. Yeah, thank you very much to you guys for joining. Have an awesome day and see you all later on today on TikTok live. Goodbye.